In the currency quadrant today, taking a look at the December euro currency quadrant, which broke below 116, down 7 of the last 9 sessions, now breaking down below that attempted basing that took place at that 116 level. Even the high today, which was 116.16, was a small gap lower versus yesterday's settlement of 116.24.5. The low today, 115.44.5, down a little bit more than a half of 1%, 68 basis points to be exact. And we ended up settling down a little bit less than a half of 1%, right around 115.60 or so. We are now working on the 5th consecutive down week for the European Union's currency. Now, retail sales came out in the EU yesterday, and the month of August came in at unchanged. It was expected at plus 0.4, and the last month's number was up 3.1. So not only disappointing versus last month, even the expectation was disappointing versus last month, but it missed those expectations that week in the euro as well. As we talked about a number of times, that particular area and the Delta variant has caused a little bit less of economic growth to kind of rebuild from the pandemic than we've seen in other developing nations. But right now, that euro currency is showing that weakness. Then, of course, there are yield differentials that you always have to look at with currencies. And the yield differential between the US 10-year note and, say, the German Bund, for example, as a proxy for the EU, grew in late September. It went from about 161 basis points up to about 173 basis points by the end of September, falling off a little bit, but still sitting at 170 basis points, with the 10-year Bund being down 18.5 basis points. That's right, it's still negative in yield. And the Treasury here in the U.S., the 10-year note, moving to 151.5 as I speak to you right now. So watch that yield differential. If it doesn't get better and other things don't get better in the EU, the euro currency is likely to stay as weak as it's been over the last 6-7 weeks.